Hey pilots, Drain Man here, and today I have a very special video. Today we are going to begin the Kiss My Quad series. This is a series or playlist all about Kiss. I do have a couple videos on Kiss, but we just built this brand new Apex frame by Impulse RC, and the build has Kiss hardware. So what if you're new to Kiss? Or what if you want to get into Kiss, but you just don't know how to set it up? Yeah, it's very, very simple, super simple, but you don't know how to do it. Well, guess what? Drain Man's got your back. We are going to set it up starting today with how to download the configurator, how to flash new firmware, how to get them ESCs up to date, and then we're going to move on to the cool stuff. Let's go. Alright pilots, so the very first thing we need to do is we need to download the configurator. It's just like Betaflight or just like Flight 1. You're going to need a program on your computer to be able to work and do things with the KISS flight controller. Alright pilots, so the very first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and go to this URL here. I'm going to go ahead and link that down in the video description. The next thing you're going to do, once you're at this website, you're going to come over here to the top right-hand corner where it says Downloads. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff on here. It makes it very super simple. You're going to hear that a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down to where it says KISS GUIs GitHub Repo. Click that. And I know you just saw Lewis scripts, and if you're concerned about Lewis scripts, don't worry, because you can watch my entire video that I have on how to set up KISS Lewis scripts. I'll put the link in the video description. Getting back into our download, I want you guys to minimize for a second, go into your documents folder, and go into the FPV folder that we use to keep all of our stuff. And I want you to go to your KISS folder. And in there, if you don't have one, go ahead and create one. And I'm going to create a new folder. And as you saw, that was called KISS-GUI-2.0.18. So now we've got a clean, fresh folder that we're going to put our new KISS download in. In here, I want you to pick the one that applies to you, whether you're running a Linux, a Mac, a Win32, 64, whatever. And if you're unsure, you can go into your drive and find out. Me, I am a Win64, so I'm going to click download. And it's got about 18 seconds remaining. And after this is downloaded, we're going to go ahead and unzip it. All right, show in folder. There it is in my folder. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And I'm going to click it and I'm going to hit extract. And I'm going to extract it to the folder that we just created. So where's that at? Documents, FPV, KISS, and 2.0.18. Here we go. Okay, and okay. Well done, pilots. All right, let's go ahead and drop this down. And if you notice inside of our KISS folder, because that's what this is, see that? So in our .18, I open this up, and there's all my stuff. If you've already got KISS installed on your computer and you're upgrading to the newest GUI and you weren't sure how to do that, so you followed along with me, you're going to come here to where you've got it in here, and you can unpin it from the start, and then you come here to the new one, and then pin that to the start. So now when I hit start, my GUI is here, and it's the newest version. You see up here in the top right, I've got 2.0.18. And the reason why we do that is because out of habit, we just naturally go to start and click on KISS, right? Well, if we have the old version there, then we're going to be working in the old version. So I like to go ahead and switch that. You can do it however you want. All right, pilots, so we have successfully downloaded the KISS GUI. You've got everything you need now to work on your KISS flight controller, set it up, and get it ready for the air. Let's go ahead and learn how to flash the flight controller and learn how to flash the ESCs. Then we'll be up to date and ready for the next step. All right, pilots, jumping back in, we are headed for the next step, and that is to download the new KISS flight controller firmware and then flash it to our flight controller. So you've got to make it to this URL right here. And I'm going to go ahead and link this down in the video description. That way, if you need it, you can easily find it, just in case you don't know how to use GitHub. All right, in here, you're going to see that 1.3 RC40O is the newest firmware out, and it was literally released as of this video 13 days ago. So this is super exciting. It's got GPS support, crossfire router functionality, RC input improvements, iTerm wind-up protection, fix for black box gyro data, serial OSD fix, make launch mode configurable, set min command to 1000 by default, and fix for FETTech one wire. This is super exciting. KISS is on their stuff and they are updating that firmware. It looks like Alex is doing most of the work. Shout out to Alex. He's a good dude. I've read some of his stuff and seen some of his videos. You can go check out his channel. Heading down to the assets is where we need to download to get our firmware. So what you want to do is go ahead and grab the hex file. So click on that, and that's going to go ahead and download. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the KISS GUI. And in here, you need to connect your flight controller. If you don't know how to do that, there's a micro USB, as you'll see here in this picture. You just need to take that and plug it into your quad. I now have mine connected, and as you can see right here, it says COM4. That is the serial port that it is using. So now I'm going to hit connect. And once I've connected, I am inside. And as you'll see, this flight controller is already set up for me because I pulled it out of an old quad. One of my experiences with KISS has been no matter what I do, the flight controller and the ESCs just keep kicking. So what we're going to do, don't pay attention to any of this, and don't let any of this scare you if you're new to KISS. This stuff is so easy, and we're going to go over all of it, and I'm going to teach you how to use it all. What we're going to do is head over to the flight controller flasher. Once you get here, you need to decide whether you're going to select local firmware or select remote firmware. Before we make that decision, I want to talk to you guys about something real quick because there's going to be a few pilots that are having a hard time with their KISS connection. And if you've connected to your flight controller via the USB from your computer and it's just not working, there's a whole process of steps that you've got to take. And that's all going to start with a program called Defuse. And I need you to go ahead and download that and then follow those steps. For the guys that aren't having that problem, you're going to stay right here. So click on Select Local Firmware. And as we all know, we've downloaded the KISS 1.3 RC40O. So if you've done that, go ahead and click on that and hit Open. Once you have opened that, you're going to look for it to tell you that it's been loaded. Once it's been loaded, then you can flash the firmware. And I'm going to go ahead and click Flash Now. And as you can see by my progress, it's actually working. Looks like it was a total success. If your flight controller flash was 100% successful, you should be at this page and it should have popped up pretty much all by itself after the flash was done. This lets you know that your flight controller is wiped clean and the KISS GUI is not recognizing it. And this is something kind of cool because it lets you know that you have an authentic board and that it was made directly from Flyduino and that it hasn't been messed with or altered in any way. You've got a real product with a real serial number and it belongs to you. And that's pretty cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hit activate. And now we're in here with a fresh canvas and brand new firmware. And if you're unsure what version you have, you can look down here in the bottom left and you can even see your serial number too, and you can find out whether it's activated or not. And something very cool I didn't know is if you click it, it copies to your clipboard. All right, pilots, if you are curious as to, well, in Betaflight, I don't have to download the firmware to flash it. Well, you don't have to do that here either. You can go to Flight Controller Flasher, you can select Remote Firmware, and then you pick the flight controller that you have. And if you're unfamiliar with FETTech, it's another company that is also making KISS stuff. You can select the flight controller that you have, pick the version that you want, and hit download, whichever way is better for you. And as you'll see, the updates and the features are exactly the same. I just wanted to show you the actual hard way to do it, just so you know how to do it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the last part of this video, and that's flash our ESCs. If you've never flashed your ESCs before, now you're going to know how. So the first thing you need to know is you need to know which ESCs do you have. Do you have the 32 bits? Do you have the 4-in-1? Do you have the single, 25 amp, 24 amp, whatever you have, because there is different ESCs for KISS. You need to know which one you have. Once you know which ones you have, go ahead and click on ESC Flasher. And this is going to be the easiest flash of your life. It's going to say, warning, you'll chop your freaking hands off. Be careful. Do not flash with your propellers on. Alright, after you've done that, click, I know what I'm doing. Once you get in here, you are going to have to select your firmware. Again, we can go to the website and download it like I showed you, and that's why I wanted to show you that so you know how to do it. Or you can just click Select Remote Firmware. Once you're in, you'll need to go ahead and select your ESC type. I have the KISS 25 amp, KISS Racing 25 amp ESC single plus 4-in-1. That's the one that I have. I don't know what you have. But after you know which one you have, go ahead and click it. And then you need to pick your firmware version. You've got 121A and you've got 121Z. The 121Z is going to be a newer version. So I'm going to recommend going with that one, but that's totally up to you. You also have to decide between beta or stable. I like the beta stuff, even though there is a couple bugs. I still like it because I like the newest, hottest stuff. For the next selection is going to be whether you want voice or beep. And I know for somebody who's new to KISS, you're probably wondering, what is voice? Your D-Shot KISS ESCs will actually talk. Words will come out of your motors, and it's freaking awesome. And I'm going to show you guys how to put custom sounds on there, and that's coming up in the KISS My Quad series. But for now, you need to pick whether you want voice or beep. If you're going to be doing cool voice stuff with us, you're probably going to want to click voice. For me, that's the one I'm going to roll with. And then we're going to click download firmware. Now that the firmware has been downloaded, we can go ahead and flash it. And I'm going to click flash. As you probably heard, the ESC was about to reset, and as here it says the ESC flashing was complete. And for safety reasons, it disconnected the communication. So now we need to unplug our battery and reconnect the flight controller. And now we're all set. I'm going to go ahead and power up one time.
KISS ESC 25 amp, D-Shot detected, ready.
Alright pilots, that is going to do it for the first video in the KISS My Quad series. We learned how to download the GUI, flash our flight controller, and flash our ESCs. And you know how to do them both remotely and locally. So now that you've learned how to do that, now we're ready for us to walk through the setup process. We're going to learn how to set everything up, tune the quad, fly the quad, and all the cool little stuff in between. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.